70 people have now been formally identified as having died as a result of the fire at Grenfell Tower in London last June. A stillborn infant, baby Logan, has also been recorded as a victim. On Tuesday, the identities of the last 2 people were confirmed. All those identified have been reported missing since the blaze on Wednesday, the 14th of June. Police anticipated their remains would be recovered from the building. The search operations in its final stages is expected to conclude in early December. Specially trained officers have searched every flat in the building. 15.5 tons of debris have been carefully sifted through on each floor.
French President Emmanuel Macron has invited Lebanon's former Prime Minister Saad Hariri and his family to France. The French leader made the invitation while attending a conference in Germany. Macron said it was not an offer of exile for Hariri, who resigned 11 days ago from Saudi Arabia. We need a strong Lebanon, we need territorial integrity in Lebanon, and we need leaders who are free to make choices and to express them. I spoke with Saudi Arabia's Prince Mohammed bin Salman and Prime Minister Saad Hariri, and we agreed that I'll invite him for a few days with his family to France. Hariri's unexpected resignation has aggravated a political rift, with Lebanon's president now publicly accusing Riyadh of holding Hariri hostage. The Saudi government has denied this, or that it pressured him to resign in an attempt to curb the influence of its regional rival Iran. Shia Islamist Hezbollah, an Iranian proxy, is part of the unity government that Hariri formed last year.
The husband of a British aid worker jailed in Iran has met with Foreign Minister Boris Johnson to discuss securing her release. Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe was sentenced to 5 years in prison for plotting to overthrow the government. Ratcliffe said his meeting with the minister was positive.
I am hopeful that he will do everything he can to bring her home by Christmas. I am hopeful that he is fully engaged on trying to bring her back. He didn't, hand on heart, say, "I guarantee it." His job, of course, is to manage my expectations. My job is to keep expectant.
Johnson was criticised after comments he made that Zaghari-Ratcliffe was teaching journalism before her arrest in April last year, raising fears her sentence might be extended. He later apologised.
I can tell you that people here in the Foreign Office and across government have been working very hard over the last 19 months to secure the release of Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe, and indeed to solve some other very difficult consular cases in Iran. And we're going to continue to do that, and we will leave absolutely no stone unturned in our efforts to do that.
Johnson also stressed the importance of an appeal on humanitarian grounds to secure her release. A psychopathic predator who Hawaiian prosecutors describe as having all the criteria of a classic serial killer has been arrested thousands of miles away in California. Randall Toshio Sato escaped from a mental hospital in Oahu 4 days ago. No alarms were triggered and investigations been launched.
His escape should never have happened. I am deeply concerned that such a dangerous person was able to escape from the Hawaii State Hospital and remain undetected for such a long period of time.
The 59-year-old used a mobile phone to call a taxi, gave his name as Bill, and asked to be taken to the airport in Oahu. He then caught a connecting flight to Maui before taking a Hawaiian Airlines plane to the US. The sheriff's office says an alert taxi driver called police. Employees at the hospital are being scrutinized. Officials are looking at evidence Sato, who was found not guilty by reason of insanity of murdering a woman in 1979, had help getting out.
A court in Spain has awarded the Spanish government €1.6 billion in compensation for the Prestige oil spill, one of Europe's worst environmental disasters. The tanker split up in 2002 after being adrift at sea for 6 days. The regional government of Galicia, where the Prestige sank, and France were also awarded substantial damages by the court in A Coruña. Among those fined were the vessel's Greek captain, now in his 80s, and his British insurers, who were ordered to pay €1 billion, the maximum under their contract liability. Thousands of kilometres of coastline were severely polluted when the Prestige spilled more than 60,000 tonnes of oil. The disaster saw tens of thousands of volunteers take part in a clean-up, which had huge consequences for the local environment.
It became an internet meme, but now the cartoon-decorated boat that housed Spanish police in Barcelona is finally leaving. But security forces will stay behind until the Catalan election in December. Extra police were sent to Barcelona for the referendum on independence, which turned violent as police used batons to attack voters outside polling stations. Spanish police had earlier arrested Catalonian officials ahead of the vote in an effort to stop the referendum. Those arrests prompted a general strike in November, calling for the release of the officials, which saw hundreds of protesters storm railway stations in Girona and Barcelona. Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy has urged Catalans to turn out in force for the December 21st election to restore normality to the region.
Russia's lower house parliament, the State Duma, has unanimously backed measures to list international media as foreign agents. The move comes after the Kremlin-backed broadcaster RT was also told to register as a foreign agent by Washington. Russia's Justice Ministry has told US-backed Voice of America and Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty that they could be affected. The Duma's deputy speaker said the Justice Ministry will have the opportunity to review media outlets in Russia, incorporated or unincorporated, financed by foreign governments or foreign citizens, among foreign agents. The Kremlin has strongly denied claims that it interfered in the 2016 US election. Earlier this month, President Putin promised consequences for Washington's move against RT. Without a shadow of a doubt, the attack on our media in the US is an attack on our freedom of speech. One can say we're disappointed, but of course Russia has no choice but to respond. It couldn't do otherwise. In addition to branding themselves as foreign agents, the new measures will require international media operating in Russia to disclose where they get their funding and how they spend it.
17,000 jobs. Thank you. Oh. They don't have water. That's okay. What?
President Donald Trump having his own bottle moment during a televised address recapping his completed trip to Asia. His searching for some water to relieve a dry mouth has evoked memories of an address given by Florida Senator Marco Rubio when once he grabbed awkwardly for a drink. Trump mocked him remorselessly during the 2016 presidential campaign, calling him a total choke artist.
Nothing has frustrated me more than false choices like the one the president laid out tonight.
Rubio has already responded on social media to say that the president needed to work on his form. It has to be done in one single motion, he said. I should never leave the camera, but not bad for his first time. Trump's incessant mocking of Rubio last year has now come back to haunt him, lighting up social media for all the wrong reasons.
Televidente, vamos para un corte comercial. Ora nós está back é deporte com nosso colega Carl Reuter.